Hi guys, my name's Lisa and I'm a die designer here at Sizzix. You may have already seen my logo on a few die sets already, so my role here is designing these dies that a lot of the makers are using. So today I'm going to be talking you through a new die set that I've got coming out as part of the Sizzix Chapter 3 release. This one is called Pop-Up Garden, and it's a little bit tricky to assemble, but once you know it, it really is worth it. The end result looks fab. So yeah, let's start. Okay, so just to talk you through the packaging, it does actually come with some instructional step outs here, but they are very simple and basic, but it should get you started. But I'll show you today just a bit more in-depth tips and tricks how to use it and how to assemble and what all of the dies are for. So I'll start with the main pieces that you're getting in the set. So to create your greenhouse or shed, you can mix and match and do what you like with this. It also makes a house if you wanted to kind of keep it simple, but we do have these panels here to make it into a greenhouse or a shed, so that's the main inspiration. So you only need to cut this one once and this one once as well. So these are your two main pieces to create the house. So it's got the two kind of front edges here and then this side as well. And then on this one it's got the second side, and then this top bit here is the roof. So you need to cut those each once. And then we've got these panels here that I've designed it so that these are framelets. So what that means is you can drop these dies that has the detailed panels into those framelets when you're making. So it just means you can cut it all at once, and you can kind of line them up properly as well. So we've got the die pieces for the greenhouse, and then the different one for the shed has got these really cool embossed lines on it, so you can kind of see what it cuts, and I'll obviously show you as we go through, but it just gives you the different paneling and edges to either the greenhouse or the shed. So that is those pieces, that makes the assembly. Then we've got a few dies that are the kind of decorations, so all the fun bits. We've got the pots and the foliage and the little plants and flowers here. We've got some ivy as well. And all of the pots in these, you'll see that you have a little piece, and you probably can't see very well, but I'll show you. It's got a little piece with a crease rule in the middle, just to give that kind of step to it, so you can make it pop up and stand up on your card. So that's what those are for, if you're thinking, what are these additional rectangles? And then, so that's all kind of the mixture of the decorations. Then we have this die set here that I've left till last. Sorry. So this one doesn't actually cut anything, and this one was a little tip that I got when we were designing this, when I was designing this set. I asked Debbie Farinella over in the US, because she loves making anything 3D, so anything that pops up, any interactive cards, 3D flowers, all that kind of stuff. She's your go-to person. And she was saying that, yeah, it works great, but you're kind of missing a little guide on where to place it on your card. So that's where this little die comes in. So I'm going to start off by showing you what this die does. So first off, you've got your card base. So because your greenhouse or shed is going to go in here, so you do need it quite wide to make sure that when it's closed, you're covering up all of the shed in the middle. So you do need, it doesn't have to be that wide, but it needs to be kind of long. So I've got this die here, and I've got my card base. So on the die, there's kind of notches on both sides here, and that's to show you where to place the die on your card base along the fold line. So along your central fold line, these notches need to line up. So I'm going to use the Sizzix Makers tape just to kind of keep that in place while I run it through. So just a little bit there, just to keep it in place. Then I'm going to run this through my machine, and you'll see the result. Okay, so you'll see that it hasn't cut anything, but what it has done is it's given this kind of 2 crease rolls here that shows you where to place your shed or greenhouse once it's assembled. And the reason we did that was that we were finding if you were sticking kind of like too far apart, it would be like too tight. So then when you popped it up, it was just kind of pulling off and ripping off of your card. And then if you do it too near to the center, it would just kind of be too squished. So it's kind of like an optimum pop-up mechanism. So that's the whole point of that die. So without that, you're probably thinking like, I don't know what this die does. So now you know. Okay. So next I'm going to cut out the greenhouse frame. So I've got some light blue cardstock here, and I'm gonna use my maker's tape again to keep this in place because I'm going to use the panels within this. So it's kind of up to you, like depending on your like making style and how you work, but I like to cut as much as I can at the same time. So you could just cut these elements out first and then add your panels, but I like to do it all in one go. And with a maker's tape as well, it's easy to kind of keep it all in the right place. So these ones with the most rectangles, holes in them, they will actually cut those windows into the main frame for the greenhouse option. So I'm just going to pop them in place and kind of make sure that they're straight before taping it down. And then with the kind of doors side, there's only 2, so you will have to put them through twice for this side. And it really is worth using this maker's tape or washi tape or anything like that to keep it in place because it does kind of shuffle about in your machine and you don't want them to be wonky. So I'm just kind of centering them in the gap of the framelit. Okay, so that's ready to be put through my machine. Okay, so I'm going to take these 2 and pop them on the other side now. I'm just going to get rid of this back piece of the card and these little bits. So it's already got the tape on there, so I'm just going to pop it in the same position on this side. There we go. Oops. That's lost its sticky. Great thing about this tape is it's not overly sticky, so it's not going to rip your card when you peel it off. But sometimes it does lose its stick, so I'm just going to add another one just to make sure it's secure. And then run that through again. Right, now let's take all of these little bits out so you can see what we're left with. Okay, so that is one piece done, ready. So that one is the sides and then the front and the back, if you like. And you can kind of see that it's got the crease rolls there ready to show you where to fold, but I'll obviously show you how to do that in a minute. But then what we need to do is cut the other side, so we need the side and the roof. So with this one, you kind of, just to get the orientation, because you might think, which is the side bit that needs that panel? So this is the bottom here, and then this one is the bottom as well. So just for kind of knowing which way that you need to put this, I'm putting the largest windows at the bottom. So I'm following this kind of tab here, and popping it in the bottom. And then the top pieces is the roof. So I've got another one here. And again, I've just got the one, so I'll pop that in there, but I'll need to do it again for the second one. Put that in place. There we go. I think the cracking noise is really satisfying. Like once you get used to the fact that your machine isn't breaking and you're not doing something wrong, it's actually quite a nice sound, I think. Okay, so let me just move this panel to the thing. And like, I'll just show you the other way of doing it. So if you prefer to just, you know, take your time with this and cut them all separately, what you could do is cut out your main piece out of card, and then without the frame, you can still kind of line this up in the same way like this. So if you want to do them all individually, take your time to get it perfectly straight and in the right place. There is that option too. Like that. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to tidy up my workstation here because I've got these little bits flying everywhere. Okay, so then we're left with these kind of the bare bones of the greenhouse ready to be put together. So I'm just going to show you again the little different panels that you've got for the shed. So this one, like I said, has got the embossing lines along the side, and I'll show you a finished make of that as well at the end to show you what you're getting. But yeah, so this is the side one, and then these are the kind of like the door side ones as well. So this one doesn't have anything for the roof if you're looking for that one, but you can kind of decorate that with anything that you like. You could draw on it. So yeah, it's just the sides for that one. So I'll put those dies out the way and I'll keep those there for later. So then what we need to do is assemble this. So you can see that it's got crease rules and it's got tabs at the sides. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold them all. So it is easy to fold because it's already kind of half done for you. So I'm going to fold the tabs that way and then this base tab as well. There we go. And then for the, I'm going to call them doors, but this kind of central crease rule here, you want to fold it kind of the other direction, because that's the bit that's going to kind of squish in to give you that pop-up. So I'm going to fold that kind of in on itself, like that. And then the rest of the sides you need to fold the other direction. So you're kind of making a box, but then this part is folded inwards. So again, outwards for the edges, and then inwards for the door. And then I've got another little tab there. There we go. So that's kind of what you're getting. And then on this side, we've got another tab here that needs to fold. And this one is all just being folded in the same direction. And then we've got the top here. And then the roof. And if you are finding that the crease rules are a little bit faint or you can't kind of fold them as well as you want to, you can use a ruler, or you can also kind of score it a little bit more yourself at the end before starting. And then, but I've used my Foldaway today, so there's quite a lot of pressure on that one. So the crease rules are pretty clear. There we go. So this is the side and the roof. And then what I found when I was making this the first time, I put all this together and I stuck the roof down and everything, and then I thought, oh, how am I now going to stick it onto my card? So what I do is I stick it all together but leave the roof open so that I can then kind of go inside and stick those tabs down onto the card base. So we're all still learning. Okay, So for the edges, the tabs, I'm just going to use our Sizzix adhesive roller. But then to adhere this to the card base, I'm going to use the glue gun just because I want that extra bit of security and strength there. So, but for the sides, this is great, and it's really nice because it is mess-free and it's not going to leave your glue everywhere. Now where does this go? This side. There we go. I'll just lift the roof up a bit so I can get in there. And I'm kind of showing you the greenhouse today because this one is kind of the most complex because it's a lot kind of, I don't know, a bit more flimsy to work with, but the shed is kind of like the easier version. So I thought I'll go in and show you the complex one first. And if you do buy this die set, or if you've already got it, it'd be great to kind of save this video if you want to kind of refer back to it. But yeah, you will kind of find out as you're making your own kind of tips and tricks and what works for you. So that is the assembled greenhouse. But like I said, I've left this roof open so that I can add some detailed elements inside the greenhouse and then stick it onto my card base. So I've already pre-cut this panel here, which has kind of like a step at the bottom and then foliage and florals on there. So I've cut that out of green. So it's really handy that it comes all in one piece there. And then I've cut out the little flowers. So these are small, so small, but super cute. So I've cut those out of like a mixture of different colors here. And then what I'm going to do is assemble all this together, stick these flowers onto the kind of spaces for them on here, and you can like mix and match with these. There's a few like additional foliage bits there as well, so you can really kind of bring it to life and build up on it how you want to. So I'll just bring my, got glue for this one and the tweezers, just so I can stick them easier. Here we go. So that's kind of started with adding these colourful flowers on there, and then I've got a few here that I've done previously, so you don't have to watch me doing them all. And then you can see it's got a crease straw at the bottom here, at the base, and that means it can kind of pop up. So I'm just going to fold along that, just being careful because these are quite intricate and fiddly. There we go. And then you can kind of stick them anywhere you want to within the greenhouse. But what I do is I'm actually going to stick them kind of along the side of it, so it's got a little bit more security there, so it's less likely to kind of move about and get stuck. So I'm just going to fold it and then go in. Just minding the edges. Oh, that's popped open, so I can close it after. There we go. So you can kind of see them popping through the windows here, which is super cute. So do the same on the other side. Probably better, actually, that I'd stuck these first before putting the greenhouse together, but here we go. Putting that little bit of adhesive, and then I'm sticking it kind of like on the base tab and along the edge there. So you can just see it coming through. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to stick this back together. I'll add some more glue there so that it stays in place. Okay, then I do have some additional pieces that I'm just going to decorate the outside with. So again, these are some foliage bits that I've just added the flowers to. And I'm going to just stick these on the doors side, I think. Just pop a little bit of glue on that. And stick them on here. Just to add a bit of interest on the front panels as well. Cool, and then a couple on the other side. Nice. So I'm using kind of like a mixture of cardstock colours, the core colours and some of the muted colours as well. I'm just kind of picking up all the brightest colours to make that kind of super summery and sweet. So before I stick that to my card, I'm just going to back this card base onto a pink coloured one. So to do that, I'm just going to use this roller adhesive again. Just along the edges, a few in the middle. There we go. And I'm just gonna, I've already cut it to size, leaving like a little border. So I'm just gonna stick that down in the middle. And then, oops, give it a little fold. Cool, now that's ready. Okay, so now I've got my card base and it's got the crease rolls here that we've just done with that die. So I'm going to bring my glue gun in so you can see what I'm doing. And what you need to do is line up the edges to each side of this line of the crease roll that you've got on the card base. So I'm just going to pop some glue on the bottom tab here. And stick it down. Just hold it in place for a little bit to let it cool. And I'll turn it around to do this side. And this is why I haven't adhered the roof yet, so I can go in now and stick that tab down. I'm going to use tweezers actually, in case I burn myself. There we go, line it up to that crease roll and then just adhere it in place. And then all you need to do is secure the roof down. So you don't want to stick this edge here, that doesn't like stick together at all, because you need that open so that it can open and close. So all you need to do is add glue onto this tab and close it. Like that. And there it is. So hopefully now, when I close it and open it again, you can kind of see how, you can send this in the post. It closes up as, as a card, so you can kind of squish it a little bit just to give that shape some definition. And then when you open it, it'll pop up. And then what I would do with this then is kind of decorate it. I'd add my sentiment, I'd write my message to whoever is receiving this. So I'll just bring one in that is all kind of finished. So I've added a sentiment here. This one's from a Jen Long stamp framelit set, I think, in chapter 1, which is matching really nicely because the sentiments are kind of like blooming and let love grow. So it really matches this die set of mine. So I've added some more flowers and foliage to the edges here as well. And what I've done with this one actually is I've put some of our Sizzix stencil film on the inside of the greenhouse, so it's kind of got that frosted look. And then I've put the flowers and foliage on the outside. So that's another option that you can do. And then that kind of all closes up like that and can fit in your envelope. So that's a cute little surprise birthday card. And then this is the shed option. So exactly the same kind of way to assemble it, and it's got the same, you know, I've used some of the same foliage, but I've also got this kind of ivy edging here that I've used on the edge of the shed and also on the card. And you can kind of see here the emboss rules along the edges of it. So that would look really nice if you wanted to bring out that texture. You can like ink it or use luster wax or something like that to kind of bring out those embossed lines. And then here I've got my little sentiment as well. So that one also closes and pops up. Okay, so if you have bought this die set or you're thinking of buying it and you think, okay, I can make a pop-up card, but what else can I do? So I've done a few card versions here that are more kind of flat. So with this, all I've done is cut the edges and the tab off of the shed piece, just the front of it, and then decorated with the ivy and the pots, added a sentiment. So this one is really nice, you know, if somebody you know loves gardening, for a birthday or kind of any occasion really. It's a super kind of, yeah, really sweet little card that you can make. And then I've done one here with the greenhouse version, and I've cut this one in half to create like little doors, and used stencil film again for the windows. And I put the flowers in the middle there and added a sentiment. And again, this can be like an any occasion kind of card. This one is super simple, but I've just used that tab with the foliage and the flowers and a stamp from a set of mine, which I think was in a craft box. But yeah, you can use kind of any sentiment with this. I feel like it's quite versatile in that sense. And this one again, how cute is that? That would make a really nice like tag actually for for gifts. So yeah, so if you do have the die set, you know, there's quite a few different things you can do with it, not just the pop-up. So if you're kind of feeling like, okay, I don't want to do a pop-up today, I'm just going to use it as a card base, card designs. So I hope that's given you enough to get started with this die set if you've got it. And as always, tag me in your makes. I love seeing what you make with my designs. And if there's anything that you'd like to see or anything that you feel like, I really don't know how to assemble this die and you haven't seen a video for it yet, you know, we're happy to help and always want to give this kind of content to support you with what you've bought. And yeah, keep an eye out for the other die sets I've got coming out in chapter 3. I will be making a few videos with those as well, and some cards I'll be posting on my Instagram too. So tag me over on Instagram and on Facebook, and I'll see you next time.